This is News Radio WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville.
It's time for Hoptown Hoppers Baseball. This Hoppers on Radio broadcast is brought to you by Service One Credit Union, Southern States Petroleum, Raymond Nelson Insurance, Baird Wealth Management, All Clean Services and AKS Flooring and Design Center, McGee Pest Control, Hopkinsville Milling Company, J. Schrecker Jewelry, Arby's, Hoptown Hoppers, TGASK, Ace Furniture, Pennyroll Electric, Max Arnold & Sons, Planners Bank, and Huggard Beard & Giles Funeral Home. Now let's head to the stadium for all the action.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Jamar Perkins here, joined by Ethan Alexander as the Hoptown Hoppers are set to take on the Clarksville Whirlybirds here inside of Colonel Field. And this is a big one for the Hoppers. You could say it's a big one for the Whirlybirds too. When you look at the league standings in the South Division, the Whirlybirds are 13-15 in fourth place, while the Hoptown Hoppers are 12-16 and fifth place. And the way the playoffs work is the top four teams will make it to the playoffs in each division. And currently the Hoppers are not in that top four. The Whirlybirds just outside that spot. So a win here for the Hoppers would tie up the records as far as standings. So it would make it a tie for fourth place. Now the Whirlybirds do have the series lead as they are 3-0 against the Hoppers, and we play them 5 times. We'll play them tonight. We'll also play them next Tuesday. But the Hoppers have already lost this series. So not only do they need to tie, which a win here would do, they're also going to need to hope that the Whirlybirds end up maybe losing some and go on a bit of a winning streak, hopefully themselves, and win some games, because to make the playoffs right now, it's looking like the Hoppers will need to win more games than the Whirlybirds. Now, you still have the full Railroaders. Don't get me wrong. If the Railroaders even went on a crazy losing streak, there is a chance that the Hoppers and Whirlybirds can both make the playoffs. But you don't really want to bank on losing streaks for other teams to make it to the playoffs. Hoppers are going to want to take care of their end and just hope for the best. But a win tonight would be huge for the Hoppers as far as staying in the playoffs. And yesterday, it was a game against the Full Count Rhythm where the Hoppers did end up losing. Ethan, what were your thoughts on that loss? Obviously, it was another game where we kind of saw Hoppers with the lead and Hoppers losing the lead. But what were your thoughts and your takeaways from that game? It's 5-4 win for the Rhythm, by the way, against the Hoppers.
Yeah, look, I mean, the Rhythm outplayed the Hoppers in pretty much every category in that game. But Hoptown perfectly played their cards whenever they had the chances to, and they stayed in the game the entire time. They actually had the lead going into the 9th inning, and they gave it up. But you know, it was a close enough loss to where it wasn't a horrible loss. They would have loved to have the win, but losing by 1 in a game where you were out hit and you had more errors than the other team, and the pitching from the starting pitcher from Full Count was pretty excellent. To only lose that game by 1 was impressive, but tonight you can't take any wins with your losses. You have to win this ball game. If the Whirlybirds are to win tonight and take a 2-game advantage over the Hoppers, you don't have that many more games to make up. So, you know, out of what, the 9-10 games left, you'd have to win at least, you know, 2 of those to even tie the Whirlybirds. So this is a must-win game and probably the most important game for the Hoppers so far this season.
And I agree. You talk about the most important game for sure. And this is a game where also the Hoppers, last time they played them, it was July the 4th. And we saw some fireworks in the sky, but we also saw a little bit of action going on in the field as well, as it was clearly chippy. I feel like the fans kind of got into it as well. Obviously, the Whirlybirds, they've been known to travel coming from Clarksville, so they had some fans as well. But even between the players, we saw some certain moments of eye contact and maybe some words be exchanged and kind of gestures to where this shows that this is chippy. And you'll hear it in the dugout show, but Coach Tavari mentioned that some of these players have circled this game on their calendar. It's kind of a revenge game, which maybe is exactly what the Hoppers want and need for a game like this, is to kind of have a fire lit up under them to be able to take on a team like the Whirlybirds and defeat them. So I am definitely intrigued. I've kind of had this marked on my calendar as well from last Tuesday, expecting this to be a possible chance for Hoppers to get some revenge and maybe talk a little bit too, but obviously don't want to get any what am I trying to say, disqualifications or anything like that. I want to keep it clean, but it definitely would be nice to see the fans and the Hoppers kind of get behind this one and get some revenge against the Whirlybirds, who have had the Hoppers number. Again, 3-0 is the series so far against the Whirlybirds. But the Hoppers, as I mentioned, I did have a chance to talk to head coach E.J. Davari in our Dugout show, which is brought to you by the Barbecue Shack, offering catering and custom cooking. Visit them Wednesday and Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 4687 Pembroke Road in Hopkinsville. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear from Coach Davari and his thoughts on this game tonight.
News Radio WHOP.
Jamar Perkins here with Hopper head coach E.J. Davari as the Hoppers are set to take on the Clarksville Whirlybirds. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Coach, the Whirlybirds, they've already won the series, but with a win tonight, you can tie, and with a loss, you would move to 2 games behind fourth place in that final playoff spot. What are your thoughts going into this?
This is not the spot that we would want to be right now. But, like I told you yesterday and tell the guys every night, we're taking it one game at a time and trying to keep our hopes alive by the end of this 9-game stretch that we got left.
So on the 4th, I talked to you and you mentioned that this is something as far as the scheduling and how things play out. It's something you're looking at, not necessarily something you're telling the players. Is that kind of still the same, or have you talked to the players at all about this matchup, how important it is?
No, I just trying to keep it as simple as possible to them. If you complicate their minds a little bit, it gets a little bit cloudy. I'm trying to just keep it as light as possible. Obviously, I feel like most of them understand the situation, but as long as I stay away from, barking at the wrong tree every day, they'll stay relaxed and play the normal game.
Coach, is there anything that you've noticed in the last game against the Whirlybirds that you feel your team can do better at?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had that game secured. We just, we weren't too careful with the ball. We made a lot of mistakes, physical mistakes, and some mental. But then, also our pitching didn't show up that day, I would say. But we've been pitching a lot better, and we've been taking care of the baseball. So hopefully we just keep it going.
Now, Coach, that matchup last week, it also kind of proved to be a bit of a chippy one. Now, would you say that's an extra factor of motivation, or would you say it's water under the bridge?
I think they're going to come out there today with a little pep in their step. They do remember it, and they've been talking about it. They marked it in their calendars. So I think it'll be a good one, to say the least.
Coach, another question or two. I found out they are starting a lefty tonight. What's the kind of a mindset with that when you start against a left-handed pitcher as far as batting?
Just keep it the same. The ball's coming from a different angle than the normal day. But with that many righties on the lineup for us, I think we should be okay going against that lefty.
And then as far as us, who's the starting pitcher tonight, and what can you tell us about him?
We got Frankie again going. He had them last Tuesday but he got a little hurt, so he had to exit the game early on. So hopefully today he's feeling a lot better and can get us more than 2 innings.
Now, would you say it's a coincidence? This will be now the 3rd time I believe he started against the Whirlybirds. Would you say coincidence or something that you see in him that he plays well against his team?
Just coincidence and how the schedule is built. I feel like, a lot of repetitiveness on doing every week, same schedule. And, we're trying to keep our pitchers as healthy as possible and keep them on the same day they pitch every week. So,
thank you, Coach.
No problem.
And that was E.J. Dabari for our Dugout show. Now let's take a quick timeout and look at our game time weather. I'll tell you right now, it's just a bit cloudy and the sun is out, but we'll check our game time weather brought to you by Charlie Henderson, State Farm Insurance.
Here's your WHOP Weather Center forecast. Clear skies tonight with a low of 65. Southeasterly winds at around 5 miles an hour. Daytime highs approaching 92. Tomorrow, mainly clear skies. Chance for scattered storms. Tomorrow night, 72. Cloudy. Chance for scattered storms Thursday and Friday. Low 90s Thursday, upper 80s by Friday. That's the forecast from the WHOP Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Megan Mulford. Currently, it's 88 degrees.
88 degrees is the game time temperature for tonight's contest. I want to go ahead and get into the starting lineups brought to you by Riken Elastomers. Join the Riken Elastomers team with process operator starting pay at over $18 an hour and an excellent benefit package that includes employee paid benefits. Call 270-475-2150, extension 214 to learn more. And first up for the Whirlybirds, batting first coming out of center field, it's Blake Merwin. And the second batter playing second base will be Josh Sanchez Harris. The third batter will be Carson Hepworth. He's playing out in left field. Then the cleanup hitter, Blaze Bell, will be playing first base. The designated hitter will be Det Willer. He's batting fifth. The sixth batter will be Alec Beeman. He's playing shortstop tonight. And the seventh batter will be the player behind the plate playing catcher. That's Heath Owen. And the eighth batter will be Garrett Taylor playing at third base. And the nine-hole batter will be Charlie Compton coming out of right field. The starting pitcher for the Whirlybirds will be left-handed pitcher Cooper Hargrove. And for the Hoppers, starting things off will be Sam Perkins. He'll be playing at second base tonight. Then Artie Logmanov will be batting second. He's coming from the shortstop position. Luis Vergara out of left field will bat third. Dom Oliverio will bat fourth, the cleanup spot. He's playing center field tonight. The designated hitter will also bat fifth for the Hoppers. That's Tate Van Hooser. And Carter Hood will bat sixth. He's playing third base tonight. Stephen Bell batting seventh. He's playing in right field. Chase Cummings he's batting eighth. He's going to be playing first base tonight. And John Keebler will get things started behind the plate, and he'll be batting ninth for the Hoppers. And we are ready to get things underway here as Blake Merwin is at the plate. Oh, what didn't mention, Frankie Paradis is starting tonight on the mound for the Hoppers as he is getting ready for his first pitch. The throw, that one is a bit low and outside. The opening pitch brought to you by Rapid RX Pharmacy, located on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville. Looking for a new pharmacy? Let the friendly staff at Rapid RX Pharmacy help you. The second pitch, that one is a bit low and outside as well, so a 2-0 count. If you're just now joining us, we are just starting things here as that ball will be hit towards center field, left center, and end up in the glove of Oliverio. And Merwin starts things off with a base hit. Now Josh Sanchez Harris will be batting second, as he's going to Rowan State Community College and is from Clarksville, Tennessee himself. So runner at first here with no outs. That pitch is a bit high and inside. That'll make it a 1-0 count. And Paradis is at the mound. Trying to steal second is Merlin, and that ball will get past Keebler. And so going to second easily is Merwin. As the Whirlybirds starting things off here quickly. The immediate base hit and a stolen base after just the second pitch to the second batter. 2 balls and no strikes. Once again, that was the count before Blake Merwin got his base hit. And a runner at second now. That's Merwin. The throw is going to be bunted, and that ball will end up going foul. A nice job there by Cummings to let that one go. He saw the spin on it. It did land fair, but it ended up rolling out, as that would have been a great bunt. It probably more than likely would have made Sanchez Harris out, but definitely got Merwin to third base.
Yeah, and we talk a lot about these Hoptown players circling this on their calendar and being ready for this game. I guarantee you these Clarksville players have done the same thing. So these guys are not coming out here to lose tonight, I'll tell you that.
As that is a shot towards right field, and it's a grab. And staying at second will be Merwin.
Yeah, and that's the best case scenario right there. That bunt was what they wanted to get the runner to third. And honestly, you know, a pop out to the opposite side field is not a bad option either, but either that runner doesn't believe in his speed or believes a little too much in the arm of Bell in right field, but either way, he keeps him there. I think Bell being left-handed as well helps out with that just a little bit as he gets to come all the way across his body throwing for third.
So 1 out here, still a runner at second. Carson Hepworth is at the plate. This throw is low for the ball. So 1 ball, no strike. Again, 1 out here. Hepworth comes from Pensacola State College and is originally from Gulf Breeze, Florida. Dancing at second is Merwin. That ball is low as well. So now this is the 3rd time in a row we have seen 2 balls and no strikes in the count. And each time now we've seen a swing. We'll see what the throw is here. 2 balls and no strikes once again with 1 out and a runner at second to throw. That ball is inside. So now 3 balls and no strikes, the count.
Yeah, and after last week when Paradis pitched poorly in that game, and now we know from Davari that he may have been hurt, this Clarksville team is going to come out tonight and expect the same thing from him, and that's why they're not swinging very much. And so far, it hasn't bit them yet. Most of these pitches have been balls.
And time is called. And I believe they're going to call they call a pitching violation on Paradis.
They're going to call a time violation, but I didn't think that was very long at all. I mean, we've seen time violations. It's usually when they call off 4 or 5 pitches and all that. That looked pretty routine right there.
So that makes it a ball 4 after it was a 3-0 count. So a walk. So now runners at first and second, and Blaze Bell is back in the lineup here. Well, this is his first at bat, excuse me. First pitch is called strike. Bell with a .403 batting average. Only player on this team to be in the 400s as far as batting average. The 0-1 there, that's inside for a ball. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here with Blaze Bell at the plate. Runners at first and second for the Whirlybirds. And they'll throw over to first. And in time there is Hepworth. Is not in the traditional spot with Chase Cummings there at first. He's playing a bit inside here. The 1-1 throw, that one is too high there and inside. So now 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, a lot of these pitches are inside. They're either inside or low. I don't know if he's thrown an outside ball yet, but just letting that ball go a little bit too quick. A lot of these balls ended up on that inside.
The 2-1, that one is a bit outside there. just a bit too much outside. So that'll make it a 3-1 count. So runners at first and second. 3 balls, 1 strike here. Again, in the top of the first inning, just started things here. The throw. That ball is fouled behind home plate. So now a full count.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a pretty big spot here if you're Paradis A. I mean, this is a big power hitter at the plate, probably their best hitter in that last game against us. You know, striking him out would be huge just to start his day off slow, and then not loading the bases up with 1 out is also pretty pivotal.
And that one is too low there. So Bell will walk, and we have loaded bases here. Again, in the top of the first inning. Now a lefty in the lineup. It's Detwiller. Detwiller from Rowan State Community College as well. That's where Sanchez Harris goes. And Detwiller also from Clarksville, Tennessee. And Coach Mike Albin is going to come to the mound and have some words for Paradis. As runners at first and second. And at the plate, it's Detwiller. As the umpire will start to approach the mound. And Coach Albin will make his way back to the dugout. Umpire comes behind home plate.
So just a few positives here. I mean, you have a force out at every single bag and 1 out, so a double play is definitely an option. But again, you'd like to see a strikeout at some point in this inning. It would help out the team a lot to leave the guys where they're standing without a chance to advance.
First pitch is too high there to Detwiller, so a 1-0 count will start things here. One ball, no strike. No outs, and the base is loaded. This throw is also too high. Now 2 balls and no strikes. This throw here, that one is down some more. Hits the inside top of the strike zone for a strike. So now 2 balls and 1 strike, the count. The 2-1 breaking ball is swung on there. And that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Pretty pitch, too. Way to throw one they haven't seen yet.
The 2-2 breaking ball, that one is a foul ball. Excuse me, and that one will go behind the bleachers near third base. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here. The throw is fouled once again right behind home plate towards the screen. So the count will remain the same. The 2-2 throw, breaking ball. That one is hit towards the left field. And Oliveri will make the grab near left center. The throw is made, but it's too short. He'll throw over to third, though. And out is Blake Merwin there. Or no, excuse me, that was Carson Hepworth, as he was tagged out for that 3rd out. So Detwiller flied out to center. Hepworth was tagged. But Merwin did come in and tag up to score. So a run did score for the Whirlybirds, as there was 1 hit. There were no errors. There were 2 left on base and 1 run scored as we head to the bottom of the first inning. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard 1-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And the Hoppers are preparing to get their first times at the plate. Starting things off for the Hoppers will be Sam Perkins. And then on deck after that will be Artie Logvinov and then Luis Vergara. We'll get things going for the Hoppers. They're working against the left-handed pitcher to start things off here. That's Cooper Hargrove. And Cooper Hargrove has had 7 appearances. He started 3 games. He has a 1-3 record as far as wins and losses. He does have a save on the season. He's pitched 33 innings. This is actually the pitcher that's pitched the most for the Whirlybirds all season. He's allowed 35 hits, 16 runs, 9 of them earned, 14 walks, 27 strikeouts. That first pitch is outside for a ball. That ball is going to be chopped, and it will be fouled near third base. Hung on the line for a bit, but ultimately went foul. So now 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm curious to see how these Hoppers jump on a pitcher that will not be throwing the same velocity that we saw from the starting pitcher from Full Count yesterday. And he is a lefty, so that does change things up just a little bit. But, you know, as you do know, the right-handed batters hit off lefties better than lefty batters, and other than Stephen Bell, I mean, that's really all they got, is that's a ball thrown to Perkins. But you got someone like Sam Perkins here who is very consistent, leading the team off. Another ball thrown to him, and you know he'll take a walk if he has to.
Oh, yeah, 3 balls and 1 strike now to Sam Perkins. And that throw will be just a bit outside there. And so walking will be Sam Perkins. Now up to bat, it's Artie Logvinov, right-handed batter. Thing to note too, not too many Whirlybirds fans in attendance from the looks of it. Do see a bit of purple in the stands, but not as much as there was last week. It did feel at some points almost a bit even when you heard some of the fans as that strike is called there.
Yeah, and I mean, those folks, you know, had the July 4th off, so today, middle of the week, they might not be making the trip down to Hoptown.
100% understandable. It's the second pitch, check swing, but he did go. And so now no balls and 2 strikes to Logvinov. You're gonna runner at first after Perkins was walked. On deck is Luis Vergara. The 0-2 breaking ball. That one is hit towards left field, and it looks like it has some distance to it. And deep left field, the catch is made. But a nice shot there from Logvinov. For a second there, I did think it could go out. It was to hit high, which is not far enough.
But I mean, the tempo is set at this point. I mean, Perkins walks, and then Logvinov hits one to the fence. This pitcher not throwing enough speed here. If you can get a good long amount of time with that bat in the strike zone, you have a pretty good shot. Big swings will help him out here.
First pitch, Luis Vergara, breaking ball. That one too low for a ball. So now 1 ball and no strikes. As that ball will be hit towards left field, has distance, but it will go foul.
And he swings just a little early there and pulls it left, but that if it was fair, it's over the fence. So that's back-to-back contact hits now that are very, very deep.
1 ball, 1 strike. The throw, breaking ball swung on and missed there. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. You're going to runner at first. It's a 1-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead. That'll be hit towards center field. And that ball is caught there by Merwin. So now it's 2 outs, back-to-back flyouts, and Dom Oliverio is at the plate. And still Sam Perkins at first for the Hoppers. So 2 outs here, runner at first. Oliverio at the plate. First pitch there. It is going to be called strike on the outside throw. Oliverio, a .218 batting average. 19 hits on the year. 0-1 the count here. The throw. Breaking ball is swung on. That'll make it a 0-2 count here. So no balls, 2 strikes. Again, a 1-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers after they scored in the top of the first, as we hear in the bottom of the first. That ball is going to be low. It'll get past the catcher, Owen, for the Whirlybirds. And advancing to second will be Perkins.
Yeah, and something interesting here, your 2 through 5 batters are pretty much all guys that are going to be swinging for the fences on the Hoppers team, and we've already seen that this pitcher is going to be able to get hit off of. I wonder if you're a coach, you tell them to try to go for a contact instead of power and maybe shoot these gaps against this guy, because you know you can get the hit off of him. You just don't want to hit it to an outfielder.
Breaking ball there, a bit wild, is outside. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The throw, that one too high there. So a full count to Dom Oliverio. And Cooper Hargrove on the mound. Perkins at second. The throw, that ball is too high. It is a bit outside as well, so Oliverio will walk. Staying at second will be Sam Perkins. And now Tate Van Hooser will come to the plate.
That's something that Oliverio has gotten really good at this season. We saw it yesterday too, where he'll get down 0-2 in a count, you know, try to feel things out, go for a big swing, and then just watch 4 go by him for a walk. He did the same thing yesterday. At the beginning of the season, he was just swinging. He has gotten significantly better at watching that ball.
Breaking ball goes left and outside there for Hargrove. Looks like he's tying his shoes up a bit, so getting those straightened out. Hopper's wearing their military jerseys, or USA jersey, military appreciation. Got the camouflage with the United States flag lettering, as that'll be a strike right down the middle. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. White pants being sported for the Hoppers, and the Whirlybirds wearing their purple uniforms with the gray pinstripes, gray lettering, and gray pants. Swing and a miss there. That'll make it 1 ball and 2 strikes to Van Hooser. One ball, two strikes to throw. That ball is swung on and missed. So Van Hooser will strike out. That's Hargrove's first strikeout of the game. And that will do it for the first inning. There was no hits. There were no errors. There were 2 left on base and no runs scored as we head to the top of the second inning. Checking the manpower of Hopkinsville's scoreboard, 1-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers again 1-0. We'll be back with more Hopper action starting in the top of the second. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville. News Radio WHOP.
It's a 1-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers, and at the top of the second, the Whirlybirds are batting. First batter for them is Alec Beeman. He's playing shortstop tonight. First pitch was a ball. Second one is swung on and missed. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. Beeman comes from UT Martin and is from Franklin, Tennessee. That throw is bit high and outside. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. The 2-1. That one drops inside for the strike. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And hit by a pitch there. And it looks like that upper left side of the back, maybe the shoulder, was Beeman. So he will advance to first after being struck there. And now Heath Owen, the catcher for the Whirlybirds, will be at bat. And Heath Owen goes to Belmont University and is from Marietta, Georgia. So now a runner at first with no outs. That'll be a base hit going over the head there of Sam Perkins, and trying to go to third as the ball is a bit loose. They'll throw over to second. The throw is made and safe. There is Heath Owen. So Beeman will get to go to third, and Owen makes it to second. Ball got fumbled up a bit there. Seems like the Hoppers had it, but then they didn't. So not sure if they're going to count that as a double. As it looks like I think they are going to rule it as a single, and they gave an error to the Hoppers. So a single there for Heath Owen. And then an error. We'll bring runners now to second and third with no outs. Pitch is low there. And Keebler, I believe he might be shaken up a bit. Somewhere in the neck area, I believe, maybe taking off the helmet kind of got him choked up a bit. Seems to be okay. Davari kind of looking over there. I don't think he's going to come out. So seems John Keebler is all right. He'll stay in this ball game. Umpire kind of looking over him. Looks like he's asking if he's all right, and he nods his head yes. So 1-0 the count to Garrett Taylor. That throw is outside. Keebler does a good job of getting behind that one, but now 2-0 the count. Again, runners at second and third. It's a 1-0 ball game. It's the Whirlybirds lead, and the Whirlybirds are at bat right now. A 2-0, that one is right down the middle, maybe just a bit high. But now 2 balls and 1 strike. Garrett Taylor comes from Jackson State Community College and is from Cunningham, Tennessee. 2 balls and 1 strike here. The throw, that one is foul. That one will wind towards the road. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 throw, breaking ball is fouled and goes into the hand of Charlie Compton there as he was getting ready to bat next up. Nice reflexes from Charlie there. So the count remains the same at 2 balls and 2 strikes with Frankie Paradis on the hill. And that throw goes behind Garrett Taylor, but Keebler does a great job of getting behind the ball and preventing the wild throw. So now a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, runners at second and third with no outs. The throw is going to be fouled. And I believe Keebler got hit once again as he's now having to walk it off. Not sure where he was hit, but the ball was fouled behind the bat and I believe made contact with Keebler as he's getting his fair share of pain in this inning. As he's standing right now.
Yeah, and if you're Paradis right now, you pretty much have to throw this in the zone just because Keebler has now been hit twice. He's going to be moving a little slower. Those far outside pitches are just a more and more chance of going wild.
Full count there, swung on and missed, and it was a bit wild. The throw over to first, and it is going to be an out after the ball got loose. And so Taylor strikes out there, and that is Paradis' first strikeout of the game. That's the first out of this inning. Now the 9-hole batter, Charlie Compton, will come to the plate, a left-handed batter. Compton, a taller player as well. So runners at second and third with 1 out. On deck for the Whirlybirds as the throw is going to hit before home plate on the ground. So that makes it a 1-0 count. On deck is Blake Merwin. He scored the 1 run in this game.
Yeah, Paradis needs to find this strike zone consistently. He got lucky in that last batter, was swinging a little willy-nilly on those low pitches. That's not going to happen to you every time.
Throw there is just a bit outside. So now 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 swung on and missed. Compton's bat nowhere near that ball. A nice breaking ball there from Paradis. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out here. The throw is going to be fouled, tipped into the glove there of Keebler. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 throw is going to go foul as that one went behind the Chick-fil-A broadcast booth. So the count remains the same. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out and runners at second and third for the Whirlybirds. It's a 1-0 ball game as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. The throw there is going to be hit towards left field and short left field. And staying at third will be Alec Beeman. So Compton flies out to left field and a short left field as well where Beeman could not tag up. So now we have 2 outs. And Blake Merwin will come to the plate. He had the first hit in the ball game, and he was the first batter in the lineup for the Whirlybirds. Now back up to bat. Also the only run in this game. Ended up scoring after tagging up from third. First throw was swung on and missed. That ball's in the dirt. Keebler stays in front of it, but a nice job for Paradis to get Merwin to bite there. So now no ball and 1 strikes. The 0-1, another low pitch. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, we're here in the top of the 2nd inning. That throw is high and inside. Moving out the way a bit is Merwin. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Time is called by the umpire. I think he might have got a bug in the eye. As he comes back to the plate. The 2-1. That one, it hits home plate. Or excuse me, hits the ground before home plate. So now 3 balls, 1 strike. And as after the throw, Frankie kind of pats his chest saying, my bad. A lot of fans trying to encourage him here as far as the Hoppers. So now 3 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs and runners at 2nd and 3rd. The throw, breaking ball swung on and missed there. So now a full count here. And that ball will be hit towards center field. Oliverio backing up for it, and he cannot make the grab. So 1 run will score, and another one will come in. And at 2nd base, Blake Merwin will stay. And so now a 3-0 ball game. As that ball was hit and ended up getting behind Oliverio there. He couldn't get back in time. Extended the hand out, but wasn't able to make contact with the ball with his glove. So 2 runs score after that double from Blake Merwin. And he has started off 2 for 2. There is a conference going on, and I believe
there's going to be a pitching change. But, you know, you want me to be honest with you, I don't think he did anything wrong there. He got the pop up to center field. That was a routine play, and Oliverio was just a little bit too far up in the field. And instead of, you know, turning around and running and trying to catch up with it later, he backed up to try to make the play and just couldn't get back there. But yeah, Paradis did a good job of getting back into that inning there. I mean, letting the guys on 3rd and 2nd with no outs, picking up 2 outs, and then pop fly to center field. Probably should have been the end of the half inning, and you know, just like that, it's not the end. They score 2 runs, and now you have a different pitcher on the mound.
As we'll go ahead and take a timeout. It is a left-handed pitcher. We can tell you that much. When we come back, we'll give you the full rundown on who exactly this pitcher is for the Hoppers. Again, a 3-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoptown Hoppers here in the top of the 2nd inning. When we come back, we'll have 1 runner at 2nd with 2 outs. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Radio WHOP.
And it's Jack McGuire for the Hoppers, the left-handed slinger. And looking at the roster, he's from Illinois College and from LaPorte, Indiana. And right now, he just came in for Frankie Paradis, and he's facing a runner at second with 2 outs, and Josh Sanchez Harris is at the plate. He flied out to right field in his last at bat. As dancing over there at second is Blake Merwin. He did steal a base already in that first inning. He stole from first to second. This time he's at second. First pitch, that one is low and bounces right into the glove of Keebler. So 1-0 the count here. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs here, a 3-0 game. Is trying to steal from second to third. The throw will be made from Keebler, and easily out there is Blake Merwin. A nice throw there from John Keebler, right on the money to Carter Hood. And that will do it for the top of the second inning, as there was 2 hits, there was 1 error, there was none left on base, and 3 runs scored. Or no, excuse me, 2 runs scored. 2 runs scored in that inning. And looking at the Manpower Hopkinsville scoreboard, that makes it a 3-0 ball game. As we'll head to the bottom of the second inning, it'll be Carter Hood, Stephen Bell, and Chase Cummings starting things off in that inning. As we'll take a timeout, this is Hoptown Hoppers Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. First pitch swing there for Carter Hood. He'll foul that one, as that one goes behind the first base bleachers. So now no balls and 1 strike to Carter Hood. Still pitching is Hargrove for the Whirlybirds. 3-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers here in the bottom of the second. And that's a high pitch there outside, 4 balls. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. And swing and a miss there on the high heater. Makes it a 1-2 count. Hood, fun fact about him, he has been hit double-digit times. 10 times on the season he's been hit by a pitch, as he'll foul that one. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes after that foul. On deck is Stephen Bell for the Hoppers. The throw here, that one inside and swung on and missed there for the strikeout. And now Stephen Bell will come to the plate. So we get some lefty on lefty action here with Hargrove on the bump for the Whirlybirds and Bell at the plate. Breaking ball out. Whoa, called strike there. I went to go say out. It was definitely outside, but ump says outside strike. as that ball will be hit towards the center field, and it'll drop for a base hit right there in short center. It looked like the second baseman was maybe going for it in Sanchez Harris, and then the shortstop went for it in Beeman. Neither of them got to it, and then of course Blake Merwin came from center field, couldn't get there in time, and they just dropped basically right in front of all three of them.
You'll take what you can get. I mean, if you're Stephen Bell, has been one of the better hitters on this team all year long. Most of the time he's shooting gaps. That time just a little plopper in the center field, but not surprised to see him get a hit.
As that immediate first pitch swing grounder the field, and they won't make the throw there as Cummings will run it out there, and not necessary as no throw was made. And so now back-to-back base hits for the Hoppers put runners at first and second. And John Keebler, the ninth batter in the lineup, is at the plate. So all Hoppers have seen action at the plate now, or are about to, should I say.
Yeah, and John Keebler here, great at walking, looking to load the bases.
First pitch to him is a strike. That one a bit high, just a bit high in the middle there for a strike.
And this is a great spot. Keebler likes to get on base, and then right after him, Sam Perkins, who also, like Keebler, is on base most of the time.
Breaking ball there makes it 1 ball and 1 strike. John Keebler has a .404 on base percentage. One of the few players on this team in the 400s in that category, as you mentioned. Sam Perkins, another one of those players. Inside, that one hits the dirt. And the check swing, they'll say he went.
Wasn't even close.
As the dog in the stands doesn't like that one either. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With a 1 out here and runners at first and second to throw. Breaking ball, that one a bit too high there. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. That throw will be grounded to the shortstop. It's fielded by Beeman. He'll make the immediate throw to first, and that's an out. Nice speed there from Cummings. Didn't allow the double play. But out at first, there is Keebler. So now 2 outs with runners at second and third. So still a chance here for Perkins to bring some runs in.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at Perkins here, I'm looking for him to shoot this gap between the third baseman and shortstop like he likes to do.
First pitch is swung on and missed. So 0-1 the count. A high pitch there outside makes it 1 ball and 1 strike.
Perkins had the first RBI and the first hit in yesterday's game for the Hoppers. That came a little later.
As that'll be a foul ball. And when you look at it too, specifically with players that have kind of played the 20+ games, when it comes to strikeouts, that's something Sam Perkins doesn't have too many of. That's 12 on the year and 64 at-bats. We mentioned that good on-base percentage. There's a 1-2 count there. The inside pitch is going to be hit towards center field. It's a fly ball, and it's caught there by Merwin, which will retire the Hoppers. As there was 2 hits, there were no errors. There were 2 left on base and a no run scored. As we look over at the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, looking for a job, visit Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with a great position where you can start tomorrow. The score 3-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers again 3-0 is the score. We'll be back with 3rd inning action here, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
It is a 3-0 score as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoptown Hoppers. And the Whirlybirds are currently about to start things at the plate here in the top of the 3rd inning. First, the pitch is foul. Josh Sanchez-Harris will come back to the plate. He was at the plate at first, but ended up having his at-bat shortened due to Blake Merwin trying to steal for 3rd and getting thrown out. So now no balls and 2 strikes after 2 immediate foul balls. So 0-2 the count. That throw will be a base hit in between the second and first baseman for the Hoppers. And great position there for the ball to land for the Whirlybirds. So now a runner at first for the Whirlybirds after another base hit. And again, no outs. That's a high and outside pitch. 3-0. The score. Jack McGuire is pitching for the Hoppers, currently the left-handed pitcher. 1 ball, no strikes. The throw there is going to be outside for a strike. So 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 throw, a laser there towards left field. Trying to get there is Vergara. He'll slide in, pick it up, make a nice grab there. And at third is going to be Sanchez-Harris, and a double there for Carson Hepworth.
Back-to-back innings now for the Hoppers with no outs on the board and 2 runners in scoring position. And honestly, they've been pretty lucky so far to not get too many runs put up against them in these spots. You know, you eventually have to think that that could break. Paradis in the last inning did a good job to pick up those outs, and eventually 2 scored. But situations like this are usually more negative than positive.
Blaze Bell is at the plate. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, and that ball will be in the glove there. A nice grab at the shortstop position from Logvinov, as he makes the heads-up play and keeps runners at 2nd and 3rd. That was Blaze Bell there too.
I mean, a pretty vital play there. That probably would have scored 2 if that got through to the deep left field area. So Logvinov there saving 2 runs.
Oh my goodness, in the head there is Detwiller, as he will walk that one off. Detwiller, the ball went straight towards his head, as he is trying to walk that one off there. And he's standing on his own feet currently, seems to be all right, as Coach Rice for the Whirlybirds is checking on him. And wow, I
mean, it didn't hit him in the head. It hit his helmet, the overhanging part of his helmet, and I think
the brim.
The brim of the helmet, and I think that swung around and got him.
He's going to take his helmet back, depending it's not broken, and it seems to be all right. So he'll walk over to first. And fans will clap it up for him. He is okay. It's a bit of a scary moment there.
Yeah, he's probably more shaken up than anything with coming as close as it did.
So hit by a pitch there is Detwiller. And now the bases are loaded, so a tough spot for the Hoppers with just 1 out here. And Alec Beeman's at the plate. He was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. That throw will be low and outside. 2 doubles already in just 3 innings for the Whirlybirds. They lead the league in doubles coming into this game, 59. Now they've gotten over 60 doubles on the season. They also are second in hits. So that makes you look at it too, the Whirlybirds just being 4th in the standings in the South Division, but still managed to lead in those categories, which are pretty big categories if you ask me, doubles and hits. As that ball go right down the middle for a strike. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. That throw there is too low for a ball. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss there. Two the count. And again, 1 out here with the bases loaded. It's a 3-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers with the Whirlybirds at the plate. Throw there is going to be a base hit as it drops in front of Stephen Bell in right field. 1 run will score, and that will be it as Sanchez Harris comes in for the run. And Alec Beeman gets a base hit there. So advancing to second is Detwiller. And at third now is Hepworth. So now a 4-0 ball game. Heath Owen is at the plate. He had a base hit. And he was in that situation where he had to hit and went towards right center, and it got past to, or what looked like it was going to be picked up and ended up getting kind of bobbled, which ended up advancing him to second. And a runner went to third as well. That first pitch is a ball. So 1-0 the count. Bases loaded here, 4-0 the score. As the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Scored in every inning so far now. Outside pitch there makes it a 2-0 the count. Left-handed pitcher McGuire on the mound. Breaking ball, that one near the dirt, but swung on. And now 2 balls and 1 strike. Outside throw there for a ball. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, bases loaded here with the 1 out. 4-0 ball game. Got to throw a strike here for McGuire. He does, but it's going to be chopped and it's going to be fouled. So now a full count here. And in the same situation, as you want to throw something down that strike zone, maybe you don't want to make it too easy, but a walk here would put another run on the board, which you don't want to do already being down 4-0 here. So full count, 1 out, bases loaded. The throw, breaking ball will be grounded. That ball is chopped, and stepping on the bag there is Perkins. He'll make the throw to first, and that is a double play. As a nice job there by Perkins to be able to tag the bag and make the throw for the double play. As in that inning, there were 2 hits. There were no errors. There was just the 1 left on base and 1 run scored. Looking over at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 4-0 is the score. In the bottom of the 4th, we'll see Logvinov, Vergara, and Oliverio starting things for the Hoppers. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio, WHOP.
Artie Logvinov is starting things here in the bottom of the third inning. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers 4-0. Hoppers trying to put some runs on the board here. First pitch to Logvinov is going to be called strike. Just must have clipped that strike zone at the bottom there. So now 0-1 the count. Logvinov flied out to left field. And his first at bat, it was a deep shot though. When it came off of the bat at first, I thought it might be a homer, his second of the season, but no, just a deep fly ball. 1 ball, 1 strike after that ball thrown. And that ball, it will be fouled behind home plate.
There's got to be a point in time where they start hitting it off this pitcher. He's not thrown to the point where you don't think you should be able to hit off of him. I mean, we've already seen several balls hit deep. You got to start hitting for bigger shots.
As that will be grounded, fielded at third. The throw made from Taylor, and it's close, but it is in time. Logvinov is out. A nice job, though, as he extended to first base. Looked like he was crossing a finish line there. But out at first is Logvinov. So now 1 out. Luis Vergara will be at the plate. He flied out to center field in his 1 and only at bat. First pitch is going to be low for a ball. Ball gets in the dirt a bit, but not too far from the catcher, Owen. That ball is hit towards right field, and it'll be a base hit, and it also gets past the right fielder. So going to second is Vergara, and he will get a double.
And maybe that's the breakthrough hit that they've been needing. I mean, there had to be a point in time where this pitcher faced a big hit, and last time he was up, we saw Vergara foul one off over the fence. That time we see a big double from him. We see a lot of doubles from Luis, but these guys really need to punish this pitcher. I mean, nothing he's thrown so far has told you that he's a power pitcher or someone that should be striking out a bunch of guys.
4-0 is the score. And a runner at second. As the Hoppers trailing. Hoppers at bat right now. First pitch is a ball to Dom Oliverio. Oliverio was walked. And his first at bat started off an 0-2 count, ended up being full, and then eventually a walk. The 1-0 here is swung on and missed. Then Hargrove, the pitcher for the Whirlybirds, Cooper Hargrove, left-handed thrower. That one is a bit high and outside. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Throw there will be a chopper towards third. It's fielded. The throw will be made, and that's an out. So back-to-back grounders result in outs, or I wouldn't say not back-to-back. There was a base hit in between that, or a double in between that, but that is the second out. Now Tate Van Hooser will come to the plate. He has 1 at-bat so far in this game, and he struck out. So Van Hooser at the plate here with a runner in scoring position at second, down 4-0. As that ball will be hit towards right field, and it is caught, and hitting his back on the fence there is Charlie Compton. So another deep fly ball, but an out regardless for the Hoppers, as there was 1 hit. There were no errors. There was 1 left on base, and no runs scored. As we look over at the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, looking for a job, visit Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with the great position where you can start tomorrow. The score for 2-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. We head to the top of the 4th inning. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here. It's a 4-0 ball game. The top of the 4th inning now, as the Whirlybirds lead, and they are start to bat here. And a new pitcher for the Hoppers on the mound, and a new pitcher just in general for the Hoppers, Connor Jackson, making his first appearance. He's from St. Louis Community College and is from Smithton, Illinois. So a new addition for the Hoppers. He's a right-handed pitcher. He will get things going here. And where's number 15 for the Hoppers? And so far, I've seen a couple of breaking balls from him. And it doesn't seems to be more of a location pitcher more than just a power pitcher.
Yeah, at this point, if you're the Hoppers, you just want one of these pitchers to come out and give you more than 1.5 innings. You know, this late in the season, you can't afford to have these guys, you know, 6, 7 pitchers coming out in one game. You just can't afford to have it. You got to give these guys ample time to get their arms back into shape. And also with these games they have to win coming up in the next week and a half or so, they might need some of these arms. So they need someone to come out here and go the distance just a little bit and save a couple arms.
Garrett Taylor is at the plate for the Whirlybirds. Again, 4-0 Whirlybirds lead. And Connor Jackson. First throw will be a hit towards left field and ends up in the glove of Oliverio near left center. So first pitch swing there, as Taylor liked what he saw and gets the base hit. Now Charlie Compton will come to the plate, left-handed batter. Switching things as well for the Hoppers. They just had a left-handed pitcher, now going back to a right-handed pitcher. Started things off with Frankie Paradis. The throw showing bunt and taking it away there was Compton. Compton, a taller player too. He's got to get down for those bunts. As a 1-0 the count. Runner at first. That throw right down the middle for a strike. Seven hits for the Whirlybirds so far compared to the Hoppers 3. And again, 4-0. Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. The 1-1, that ball will be grounded. Cummings will throw to second. That's an out. They'll throw over to first. And in time there is Taylor. So just one out. Or excuse me, Compton makes it to first in time. And Taylor is the one that's out at second.
Yeah, but you're actually fine with that. I mean, the double play's almost turned, but now you have a slower runner on first base and an out on the board. So you're kind of just replacing the runner, but Compton not as quick on the base path and out on the board.
Left-handed batter now at the plate. First one is outside. Blake Merwin at the plate. He is 2 for 2 on the day. 1-0 the count. He started off with the single and had a double in his last at bat. He's the leadoff hitter for the Whirlybirds as he will chop that one over to third as that ball is too high, goes towards the fence. So now at third, as trying to go to second, and now trying to come home and scoring will be Charlie Compton. So he makes his way all the way from first to third in a matter of probably less than a minute there. After he just reached on the fielder's choice. And at second base is Blake Merwin.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as I can remember, that's the first overthrow we've seen from Carter Hood this season to first base. And I don't know, man. It's just games like this are the ones where you don't want to see stuff like that.
So 5-0 now, the score after a run is scored. In 4 innings, we've seen the Whirlybirds score every time in the inning, in each inning.
And a lot of those, I mean, you know, they have 7 hits, but a lot of those runs actually coming from either errors or walks or hit by pitch. And so those 7 runs have done a good job to get guys on base, but Hopper's not doing a great job of containing in certain spots.
1-0 count to Sanchez Harris. This pitch is high. The previous one was high as well, so that makes it a 2-0 count. And 2 errors now on the board for the Hoppers compared to the Whirlybirds 0. 2-0 count, runner at second, a 5-0 score. That throw is swung on. Seemed to be a bit of a check swing, but crossing the plate there. So that'll be 2-1. Throw there, that ball is hit towards left field, and it will go over the fence. So a home run there from Sanchez Harris. It wasn't the highest home run, but it had the distance and pace to it to get it over the fence there. And a nice shot from Josh Sanchez Harris. And Blake Merwin will come in and score as well for the 2-run homer. And that makes it a 7-0 ball game as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers.
And man, sometimes when you're watching this Clarksville team play Hoptown, you forget they're not even a very good team. One of the lower, or obviously, you know, only barely above Hoptown in the standings, but every time Hoptown plays them, they just play like an all-star team.
But man, you know, talking about that earlier, it's a 1-0 count to Carson Hepworth at the plate. And pitch is thrown there. That ball is grounded and fouled near the dugout of the Whirlybirds to make it 1-1. Yeah, you might say that, but the Whirlybirds are still one of the best hitting teams in the league. So I think it's a matter of maybe the Hoppers offense just can't compare to it.
Yeah, and you're right, and that's the point of it. Probably they're hitting well, and a lot of that is probably their pitching isn't great or their defense isn't great. But the Hoppers just unable to take advantage of that in those games, and the Whirlybirds playing their game, and the Hoppers just kind of falling behind.
As a pitch there is thrown for a ball.
But again, it also could be something to the effect of you know, maybe this Clarksville team was really wanting to win today, and you know, the Hoppers coming out maybe not getting talked to as much about this being a must-win game, and one team wanting it more than the other.
As that pitch is outside and it'll get past Keebler, making it a 3-1 count. The thing to look at here, looking at some of these past couple of games, last 5 games for them, or 6 games, Hoppers, they beat them 14-9. This is the Whirlybirds we're talking. 6-3 loss, 15-13 loss, 9-6 win, 4-1 loss, and then a 14-2 win. This is a Whirlybirds team that puts runs on the board. That's how they play, and that's how they have played. As that's going to be a walk there as Hepworth makes it. So when you're playing against the Whirlybirds, which we've seen a couple of high-scoring games for as far as the Hoppers against the Whirlybirds, but you got to match that. And I think that's kind of where the Hoppers have struggled here. They have the 3 hits, and we saw that against the Rhythm yesterday. Didn't have as many hits as the Rhythm, but still almost came out of that win, or came out of that game with the win. And it's the thing here that the Hoppers, as we get towards these second half of the innings, Hoppers will need to get some hits here and put some runners on base as that will be low for a ball.
Yeah, I mean, this Hoppers team hasn't been a great offensive team all year, and the games that they win are usually because of some sort of a good pitching effort or solid defense all night. We saw that last night. They lost that game, but that was a good example of really good defense all night. And they just match up poorly against the Clarksville team. Their offense is not nearly strong enough to keep up with the Clarksville offense.
That pitch is a bit high and outside, so now 2-0 the count. Again, 7-0 now the score, as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. 3 runs have been scored in this inning. And a runner at first right now for the Whirlybirds, as that pitch is a ball. So 3 balls and no strikes now. The 3-0, that ball will bounce in front of home plate for the walk. Back-to-back walks now as Blaze Bell will advance to first, and going to second is Hepworth. So now runners at first and second with Detwiller at the plate. With the last name Detwiller, I wonder how if Det is a junior kind of thing, or when they came up with the Detwiller, how was that kind of brought about? Did they know they were going to do it? Interesting name, Detwiller. As that pitch there is called strike. That ball is too low there, just a bit low. That'll make it a 1-1 count. And now runners at first and second, with 1 out here. 7-0 ball game. Swing and a miss there on the low outside pitch. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. I believe I see Cody Jones warming up for the Hoppers in the bullpen. That's a chopper towards Perkins at second. He'll field it. He'll toss to the second. It's out there. The throw is made to first and safe. And throwing to third, as Hepworth does make it to third, and he will be safe there. So Bell is out at second, and Detwiller reaches on the fielder's choice. As that's another one we've seen now. Almost a double play, but keeps a runner at first instead of second. And now another out on the board, so it's 2 outs with Alec Beeman at the plate. He had a base hit in his last at bat. He was hit by a pitch in his first. Swing and a miss there. So 0-1 the count. 7-0 the score, as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. And that pitch is inside for a strike. So now no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2 as trying to steal second. The pitch is wild. The throw will be made, and it comes out of the glove. Now trying to go to third. The throw will be made to third, sliding in, and safe at third is Detwiller, and scoring is Hepworth. That makes it an 8-0 score, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Alec Beeman. So now a runner at third with 2 outs. And 8-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. One ball, 2 strikes. The throw there. That ball will be hit towards the center, and it'll be a base hit. So another run will score. By the sound of that bat, it might have chipped a bit, but an RBI there for Beeman, and now back-to-back base hits for him, as Detwiller will come in and score. That's the 5th run, and now a 9-0 score. As Coach Rice for the Whirlybirds is coming out, it's a limp there for Beeman. Not exactly sure what happened. as Coach Rice is going to check him out. And I believe he might be walking. And I'm not sure, as it seems there's going to be a pinch runner here. And am I seeing what I think I'm seeing? The first base coach, which is also a player, has now turned into a pinch runner for the Whirlybirds. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Stepped right into it.
Stepped right into it. I was a bit confused. I saw him put the helmet on. Merrick Carter was coaching it at first base, and Merrick Carter, a name we're familiar with as well. We've seen him at the plate against the Hoppers multiple times, and he has come in and put the helmet on, stretching a bit here. And interesting enough, first base coach turns into a base runner. That's Merrick Carter now at first. 2 outs, and swing and a miss there as Heath Owen is at the plate. So no balls and 1 strike. Heath Owen is now the final player for the Whirlybirds to see the plate in this inning. All players have seen the plate, excuse me. Oh, no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs here. 9-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. The 0-2, that ball swung on and missed. So Heath Owen will strike out for the 3rd out, as there was 3 hits in this inning for the Whirlybirds. There was 1 error. There was 1 left on base and 5 runs scored. As we look over at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 9-0. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. And in the bottom of the 4th inning, it'll be Carter Hood starting things off, followed by Stephen Bell and Chase Cummings. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
Welcome back here. It's a 9-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers in the bottom of the 4th inning now. And Carter Hood is at the plate. And if you're the Hoppers, as far as the dugout and players on the field, you want to turn up the energy here and try to mount a comeback against the Whirlybirds, as this is an important game for the Hoppers. As we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, first pitch is a ball to Carter Hood. Second throw, that ball inside, but swung on. It's winding towards right field, and it is caught by Compton. So now 1 out. A win here for the Hoppers would tie the Hoppers and the Whirlybirds for that 4th and final playoff spot, and a loss would put the Hoppers 2 games behind the Whirlybirds. 9-0 is the score here in the bottom of the 4th. Stephen Bell at the plate, breaking ball. That one moved. Oh, a strike is called as well outside. That one looked beautiful coming out of the hand. It had a breaking ball motion going down, but it also moved a bit to the right, or the outside part of the plate. The throw there, he throws the same pitch, but that one too low. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to throw. It is inside. That ball fouled. And strike there. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And a swing and a miss there, and he'll be tagged. The ball did drop, but a strikeout for Stephen Bell. So now 2 outs, and Chase Cummings will come to the plate. Cummings had a base hit in that second inning. And so now 2 outs. And the first pitch is going to be high for a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes. That pitch is a bit more down for a strike and just slightly inside. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, 9-0 the score. Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Hoppers at bat right now. A swing and a miss there for Chase Cummings. Makes it a 1-2 count. The 1-2, that one goes inside, almost hits the legs of Cummings, as that one will get loose. As I think the umpire, the ball was kind of more towards the Whirlybird dugout. I think the umpire might have been waiting for Nixon, the ball boy, to come out. And umpire picks it up himself. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. The throw here, breaking ball outside and a bit high there. Makes the count full now. 3 balls, 2 strikes with Chase Cummings at the plate for the Hoppers. That ball is fouled behind home plate towards the right side, so the count remains the same. Three balls, 2 strikes as Hargrove shakes off the first pitch, nods the second, and the throw. That ball will be hit towards second baseman. He'll run forward, make the throw towards his outside, and he gets the out there at Sanchez Harris with the play. And that will be the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down. No hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored. As we look over to the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, looking for a job, visit Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard and Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with the great position where you can start tomorrow. The score 9-0. Whirlybirds over the Hoppers currently as we head to the top of the 5th inning. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville. News Radio WHOP.
Cody Jones for the Hoptown Hoppers has a step on to the mound as he replaces Connor Jackson. And Cody Jones is a UIndy pitcher. He's from Fishers, Indiana. Same place that Dom Oliverio is from, according to the Hoptown Hoppers roster.
Yeah, and Jones has been pitching really well lately. Started the year off slow, and I was told by Coach Mike Albin after a couple slow starts, Jones made the effort to come to coach and ask for advice and not wait for it. He came off the mound one day right after getting taken off and walked up to him and immediately started talking to him. And since then, he's been pitching very well as a reliever with a ton of speed. And he just couldn't find the strike zone at the beginning of the season, but finding it now in his last couple last couple of appearances.
First pitch there will actually go over the glove of John Keebler as he stands up to try to grab that one. Garrett Taylor's at the plate, right-handed batter. Jones is a right-handed thrower. And it's funny you say that too, is it's a 2-0 count. I remember shortly, maybe a few weeks ago, I was trying to get an interview, pregame interview with Coach Tavarian, and it was him and Coach Albin actually having a long conversation with Jones before the game. I don't think that we saw Jones play that game, but maybe a conversation kind of about the season as a strike is thrown there. So you definitely like to see that, though. And players, obviously, they come here to get better, and it's nice to see them utilize their coaches to try to get some advice rather than just come out here and play, as that's a strike call. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, a 9-0 ball game. The Whirlybirds lead here. The 2-2, that ball is outside, and that'll make the count full as the bat left the shoulder of Taylor, but he didn't swing. So now 3 balls and 2 strikes. The throw inside, and walking will be Taylor as that ball will get loose for the ball. And so now a runner at first. As you look at the scoreboard here now in the 5th inning, and the previous 4, the Whirlybirds have scored in every single one of them. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, another 1 in the third, and 5 in that 4th inning to make it a 9-0 ball game. Check swing there, and the umpire says he went, so a strike called there. So no balls, 1 strike. As that ball will be hit towards left field, but it does go foul. That one actually lands in the bullpen for the Whirlybirds. So now 1 ball, 1 strike. Or check that, 0-2, 0-2 the count. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first here. That ball hits Garrett Taylor as he tried to get out of the way of that ball, but he ended up making it to first.
Yeah, no, an 0-2 count, that's rough. I mean, we've seen a lot of these hits be on 0-2 counts, but hit by pitch on an 0-2 count is rough, even rougher to see. I mean, he didn't even earn it. So here we are, 0 outs, and once again, 2 runners on base. Hoppers finding themselves in a similar position. They've been here a lot tonight. Other than the first 3 innings, they allowed runs, but were able, for the most part, to get out of it. Last inning, not so much, hoping to see something different here. This is a immediate, almost hits the batter there, too, with the inside pitch he has to get out of the way of.
Lefty Blake Merwin is at the plate. He's 2 for 2 on the day. Or 2 for 3, excuse me. He reached on an error in his last at bat. Started off with 2 base hits. Another ball makes it 2 balls and no strikes. Runners at first and second with no outs. That throw inside makes it 3 balls and no strike. That was another one kind of close to the body of the lefty Merwin. 3 Whirlybirds players have been hit by a pitch so far in this game in the top of the 5th. That ball is low and in the dirt, so now another walk. So Merwin moves to first. Taylor will move to third. And moving to second is Charlie Compton. So loaded bases here for Josh Sanchez Harris. Last time he was at the plate, it was a 2-run homer. As he steps to the plate once again. And that pitch is a strike, just clips the bottom of the strike zone there in the middle. So now no ball, 1 strike. That throw will get past Keebler, and staying at third will be Taylor, as that ball kind of hit the backstop and right behind home plate, so it would have been a lot easier. And I feel like Keebler kind of had the expression, of course, the one that I do a good job of getting to and turning. They don't even go. But 1-1 now the count. Swing and a miss there. Makes it 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, no outs. 1-2 the count. And a 9-0 score here. That throw is low and outside, and Keebler leaps outside to grab that one. Keebler showing a bag of tricks I did not know he had so far we've seen these past couple of weeks of him playing that catcher position. Listed just as a shortstop on the roster, but he's played catcher now in multiple games. As that's a swing and a miss there. Sanchez Harris will strike out for the first out. And now it's Carson Hepworth.
Yeah, and you have a force at every base and a double play opportunity. We've already seen that be made once today, and a couple close calls as well with double plays from the middle infield. So that would be the best option to get out of this inning.
Hepworth has been walked twice. That ball will get loose, and it will actually roll towards third base. So Keebler will go for that one. And that's a ball now. So 1-0 the count. And here with 2 runners in scoring position, Whirlybirds trying to keep their streak alive of scoring a run in each inning so far. A throw there is called ball. That one a bit high, so 2-0 the count. That ball swung on and missed the outside throw there. 2-1 the count. Again, bases loaded with 1 out, and it's a 9-0 score here. 2-1, and that one is too low, so that'll make it a 3-1 count.
If you're Jones here, you have to throw it in the strike zone and let him earn it. Can't walk him here. Have to make them work for it.
The 3-1 there, and that ball is going to be a bit low and outside, so he is walked. Hepworth goes to first. Merwin goes to second. Compton will go to third, and Taylor will score. And that makes it a 10-0 score as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Blaze Bell now at the plate. First throw there is high and inside for a ball. And Blaze Bell has 3 homers on the year. Here with the bases loaded. Might see him swing for the fences with 1 out. 1 ball now, 1 strike. And 1 out with the bases loaded. Throw here. That ball is outside. So 2-1 now the count. Blaze Bell sporting the pink bat, hot pink bat on his shoulder. And that pitch is high. Another high ball there. So now 3-1 the count. Pitch there. That ball hit towards left field, and it goes near the roof of the roof next to the bullpen.
The old batting cages.
Oh, also that's some history. I didn't know about it. Those used to be batting cages.
Yeah, for a long time until this building over here. I don't want to say it was built because I think it was there, but I don't think those have been used in a long time.
Full count and a strikeout looking there. Just clips the outside corner as Merwin puts his head down, or Bell, excuse me, puts his head down and looks over at the umpire, but he is headed to the dugout. Strikeout looking there. And out, 2 outs. And now a pinch hitter has come in instead of Detwiller. It'll be Andrew Jordan.
Yeah, and Jordan was actually the first base coach to start the game, and then got replaced by the
Blake Merwin,
by the first base coach who came in to run. So now both first base coaches
I didn't even notice that.
For the Whirlybirds are playing in this game.
As for the Whirlybirds team, it takes a village. And they've got players that are helping out. Hopper's, of course, fortunate to have 3 assistant coaches. And a strike called there to Andrew Jordan. Bases loaded here with 2 outs. So that ball will be hit towards left field. Oliveri will have to back up forward. He can't get to it. So a run will score and another one will come in. And trying to go from all the way from second to home, or excuse me, first to home, is a Hepworth, and he does. So 3-run score after the double there from Andrew Jordan. So 4 runs now have scored. And again, 2 out. I failed to mention the streak does continue now. 5 innings straight. The Whirlybirds have put runs on the board, and now a 13-0 score. And a hit by a pitch there is Merrick Carter. So he will go over to first. And Coach Albin is going to come out and have a talk. And I believe that someone is getting called to the mound. So Cody Jones's evening is done on the mound. And we'll see who comes in for the Hoppers, as Merrick Carter was just hit by a pitch. So now runners at first and second. The 2 first base coaches actually are on base for the Whirlybirds. And if I squint, I think that might be Jackson McTire. Would you agree with me?
Yeah, that's McTire. And, you know, you're seeing a very early appearance for him here in the top of the 5th.
So he will get some time on the mound. And we'll go ahead and take a break. 13-0 is what I'm looking at the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard. The Whirlybirds leading the Hoppers. And it'll be Jackson McTire coming in for the Hoppers. We'll give him a chance to warm up a bit. And we'll be back for more action. It'll be runners at first and second with 2 outs for McTire as he starts on the mound. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
It's a 13-0 score as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoptown Hoppers here. It's been 1 run in both the first and third inning, 2 runs in that second inning. It was 5 runs in that fourth inning, and now 4 runs have been scored in the fifth for the Whirlybirds, excuse me. And so now Jackson McTire throws, I believe, his last warm-up pitch. And now coming to the plate is Heath Owen. And once again, this is almost the exact same situation. It is the exact same situation as Heath Owen is now the final batter. It's that same situation as the fourth inning. That Heath Owen is now the final batter to see the plate in the Whirlybirds lineup, making each player get an appearance in 1 inning here for the second time. Breaking ball is high there for Heath Owen. 2 outs here. It was 2 outs as well in that last inning against Heath Owen. He struck out. We'll see what happens here. 1-0 the count to start things off. Runners at first and second as well. 2-0 the count now. Two balls, no strikes. The throw, that is another high pitch there. So now 3 balls and no strikes. And it's 2 outs. And runners at first and second. On deck is Garrett Taylor. Strike is called. He'll see the plate if Heath Owen can manage to reach base. 3-1 now the count after that strike call. The 3-1, that ball will be hit towards right field. Sam Perkins is tracking it down, and he makes the grab. And so that will do it, as that is grabbed by Perkins. As there was, as I'm looking at it, there was actually just 1 hit. 1 hit in this inning. And there were no errors. There was the 2 left on base and 4 runs scored. As we look at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard once again, it seems there might be some changes in the lineup for the Whirlybirds. We'll try to keep you up to date on those when we come back. But 13-0 is the score. We'll be back for the bottom of the 5th inning. This is Hoptown Hoppers baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. It's 0 the score. First pitch is high to John Keebler, who is at the plate in the bottom of the 5th. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Hoppers at bat. It's been the same pitcher all game for the Whirlybirds. As that inside pitch a bit high is called strike. So now 1-1 the count. Cooper Hargrove has went the distance so far in this game. As that ball will be fouled, and that one will go behind the dugout near first base for the Hoppers. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I look over, it does seem like there's starting to be some action in the bullpen. 1-2 the count. Breaking ball there just outside. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes. The throw, that ball is fouled once again. That one goes behind the bleachers near first base, over there towards North Drive. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's still the count. Throw there is going to be grounded to the shortstop. Merritt Carter makes the grab. He'll make the throw, and it is in time for the out there. So now 1 out for the Hoppers. Sam Perkins will come to the plate. He is 0 for 1 on the day. He flied out to center field in his second at bat. He was walked in his first. So 1 out here, 13-0, Whirlybirds lead. That ball immediately hit, and that one will go past the pitcher and up the line near second base. As a base hit there for Sam Perkins, his first of the day. Now Artie Logvanov will be at the plate. Logvanov 0 for 2 on the day. He flied out to left field in his first at bat and grounded to the shortstop in his second. So a runner at first. And Sam Perkins with 1 out here. The throw to Logvanov. Breaking ball is outside for a ball.
These Hoppers fans and coaches should be thinking whoever found Sam Perkins. You feel good every time he comes up to the plate that something right's going to happen.
Strike called there. I mean, yeah. I mean, you talk about not only his hitting skills, but his bunting skills as well. And he's proven to be pretty dependable in the infield as well, fielding.
Yeah, he can play in just about every position, too.
I mean, that's why they call it a utility player.
I'm sure he could play there, just not very tall, but other than first base, I would trust him in just about every position out here.
1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Throw there inside. That is going to be fouled again, as that one will go behind the bleachers near first base. So 1-2 remains the count. That's right. Sam Perkins has played center field for a bit too, did he not? So yeah, he really has been kind of all over the place for this Hoppers team. The 1-2 throw there is inside. The ball will get loose. They'll make the throw over to second, and safe is Sam Perkins after the pass the ball there. So now,
I believe that's his second stolen base today too.
So I had him reaching on a wild pitch in that first inning. He might have already been trying to steal during that pitch as well, but definitely his second time now going from first to second after a throw. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. The throw swung on and missed as Logvanov strikes out. So now 2 outs with the runner at second, and it'll be Luis Vergara at the plate. Vergara in his last at bat had the double. One of the 4 hits for the Hoppers so far in this game. So now Vergara at the plate with the runner at second. Double would bring in a run here more than likely. Breaking ball there is high for a ball. So 1-0 the count. The 1-0 throw. That ball will be hit towards right field, and it goes behind the right fielder. So Perkins will come in to score, and Vergara once again will get a double. I just said it. A nice little double would bring in a run, and that's exactly what Vergara did there. So Perkins comes in to score, And the Hoppers will not be shut out tonight. 13-1 now the score. And Hoppers will be looking to build up some momentum now as Oliverio is at the plate with a runner at second. Oliverio is 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out to the third baseman in his last at bat. First pitch there is high and outside. So 1-0 the count. And 13-1 the score. If Oliverio reaches base, it'll be Tate Van Hooser next up for the Hoppers, as that ball will be hit towards left field. That's a base hit there. He might go for two. They'll make the throw. He will get to go for two. And the throw is to the catcher, but sliding in is Vergara. As Vergara will score, and Oliverio gets the hit, his first of the game.
Yeah, that's a hit from Perkins and then two back-to-back doubles. Kind of surprised we're not seeing a march to the mound here by the coach to try and get a new pitcher out there before this really gets out of hand. Of course, you have a player like Tate Van Hooser at the plate now who is all power, no breaks, and he's looking to hit this one deep against a pitcher who probably should have been getting hit off of way earlier in this game. Now he's losing even a little bit more speed and movement, and they're finally starting to catch up with him.
And I will say that Oliverio was ruled a single. The throw is what they said is what helped him get to second. But still, regardless, 3 hits now. I mean, the Hoppers have doubled now the hits that they had so far in this whole game in just this inning. As Tate Van Hooser, like you said, likes to swing for the fences here, and a shot here would be nice as that breaking ball is a bit high. And there are a couple of players throwing right now, warming up the arm. 1-0. That pitch is low. Nice job of Van Hooser to watch that one go by.
Yeah, I mean, all these teams want to get the win after 7 innings so that they can go home early. And I would assume if Van Hooser gets on base here, they'll bring in a new pitcher just to try and keep the mercy rule alive. Right now, they're up 11.
As that is going to be a fly ball, looking like it's going foul. Trying to check it out as the first baseman, and he gets it in the glove. Blaze Bell there makes the grab. As that will do it. That was the third out. As I mentioned, there was 3 hits. There were no errors. There was 1 left on base, and 2 runs scored. As we look over at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 13-2. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers as we head to the top of the 6th inning. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Radio WHOP.
Whirlybirds lead 13-2 here in the top of the 6th inning. Whirlybirds at bat. As Taylor is at the plate. First pitch is low for Garrett Taylor. So a 1-0 count. Taylor coming into this game is a .256 hitter. That's a ball thrown there. in 39 at-bats. He has 10 hits. He's been walked 12 times, and he struck out 10 times. Two balls and no strikes. On deck is the 9-hole hitter, Charlie Compton. Throw there is inside, so now 3 balls and no strikes. And that's a strike called. So first strike in the count makes it 3 balls and 1 strike now. In here in the top of the 6th inning at Colonel Field, as that'll be a shot towards the left center. It ends up in the glove of Oliverio after bouncing on the ground. So a base hit there for Garrett Taylor.
Now batting for 15, Cade Hitson.
So now the 11th hit for the Whirlybirds. As I believe there's actually a new player that I didn't know about. A pinch hitter, number 27. That's, or no, excuse me, not number 27. We'll figure that out here shortly. 0-1 is the count, though. As that pitch is low. Cade Hitson is batting, left-handed batter. So he replaces a left-handed batter in a Charlie Compton. As that ball fouls near the bleachers. Cade Hitson has a .229 batting average. 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count he is facing right now. And a ball called there. That'll make it a 2-2 count. Gonna run at first with no outs. Whirlybirds have scored in every inning so far. Throw there, that ball is fouled as that hits what I now know is the old batting cages, or near the old batting cages here at Colonel Field. And the roof was still there when it was a batting cage too.
What's that?
As far as the batting cage, the roof was still there.
Yeah. That. And I mean, until recently, that has had the cages inside of it.
Stealing and trying to make the throw there. That is a clear out, clear as day, as Taylor is thrown out. Nice throw from Keebler, so now 1 out.
I'll tell you what, Keebler's had some great throws in this game to get guys out stealing bases. Had that one at third base earlier, and not only is he getting it there, I mean, it's not even close.
Yeah, it is. It's not. Full count after that ball was thrown before the stolen base attempt, or after, as that will be a walk. So Cade Hitson will advance to first, and if Taylor had just waited 1 more throw, he might have just been at second, but now it's 1 out with Blake Merwin coming to the plate. He is 2 for 3 on the day. His last 2 at-bats have been a walk and reached on an error. So he has reached base every time in this game, as that will be a grounder to the shortstop. It's fielded, thrown from Logmanov, out of second to throw to first, and that is a double play, a good way to end this inning for the Hoppers, as it was a good old 6-4-3 there for the double play. And that will do it, as there was 1 hit. There were no errors, there were none left on base, and no runs scored. So the scoring streak is over for the Whirlybirds. And looking at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 13-2. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. And in the bottom of the 6th, it will be Hood, Bell, and Cummings starting things off for the Hoppers. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball being brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Radio WHOP.
And welcome back here in the bottom of the 6th inning. A new pitcher for the Whirlybirds. The second pitcher now to be seen. It's going to be Aiden Carnes. Aiden Carnes for the Whirlybirds. And I do not have the line on Aiden Carnes. I believe he's a late addition for the Whirlybirds. But he is pitching for the Whirlybirds, a right-handed pitcher. So a new look here for the Hoppers as Carter Hood will get things underway. First pitch is low for a ball. Hood is 0 for 2 on the day. He struck out in his first at bat and had to fly a ball out towards right field. Time is called by Aiden Carnes as he signals the catcher Owen to come and chat with him.
Yeah, maybe some new pitcher here for the team, probably not quite up to date on some of those calls from the catcher. So checking up and just making sure they're on the same page after the ball thrown first off.
An interesting thing here too, as I'll wait for the pitch to be thrown as far as high school sports goes, as 1 ball and no strikes. The throw from Carnes is going to be straight towards center field, a grounder, base hit, and Hood gets things going, starting with the base hit. But as far as high school, it's been approved now that a catcher can wear a headset where the coach for a high school team in Kentucky can now talk to him as far as helping communicate with pitches and things of that nature. And I actually did, as he's at these Hoppers games, I talked to the head coach of Cole Isom for the Colonels, and he had mentioned he just does not plan on using that. And some coaches who might see that.
Apart from the obvious cost of buying something like that, I don't see any reason why not to. I mean, it just makes it so much easier. And also,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool too. So.
Yeah, I would say, as the strike is called too, maybe in some kind of way to look at it too, it puts more faith in your players as well, knowing that you kind of leave it up to them to call most of those pitches. But I mean, at the same time, you can call some from the dugout too with signals. So, but 1 ball, 1 strike here, as that ball will be chopped high towards second. The throw is made to second. That's an out, but they can't make it to a first. So Bell will reach by fielder's choice, and Hood is out at second.
You know, I actually think Carter Hood thought that that ball was going to get thrown to first, and he kind of slowed up, thinking he was in at second base. And then, you know, the second baseman actually had to turn all the way around and make that throw to second. And I don't think Carter Hood was expecting that.
So 1 out, now a runner at first. Chase Cummings is at the plate. That throw is called strike outside. So now no balls and 1 strike. 1 out here with a runner at first. 13-2 is the score in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 0-1 throw, that ball will be fair as it lands near right field, and it will go towards the bullpen. Now at third base, and staying is Stephen Bell, and that's a double there for Chase Cummings as that ball landed perfectly near the foul line of right field. So now Stephen Bell is at third, Chase Cummings is at second, and John Keebler now in a good situation here as the Hoppers can profit here with the 2 runners in scoring position.
And even if you're Keebler here, someone that likes to walk a lot, I mean, if he gets on first base here with a walk, you have Sam Perkins backing him up, who is likely to bring somebody in somehow.
Breaking ball is a strike there. So no ball and 1 strike. And 13-2 the score. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Breaking ball there does clip the outside corner for a strike. So now no balls and 2 strikes. As Keebler quickly finds himself behind in the count. Aiden Carnes pitching for the Whirlybirds. The throw, breaking ball. That one is chopped towards home. They'll tag the bag, and they'll go ahead and let the run score. And so Stephen Bell will come in home. Keebler is out. And advancing to third base now is Chase Cummings. Now Sam Perkins is at the plate. As that ball will get past the catcher, they'll make the throw over to the catcher, and they can't get to it, or he can't get to it. So sliding in and scoring is Chase Cummings after the wild pitch there.
Just a great job from Chase Cummings. I mean, had that perfect hit, and then a good move there, not only to be ready to run there, but also to put his body in a way to make it difficult on that pitcher to get the ball.
Sam Perkins still at the plate. Strike is called, so now 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here, 13-4 score now, so less than 10 runs is the lead for the Whirlybirds. Another ball is thrown there. So that one hits the dirt. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs here. If Perkins can reach base, it'll be Artie Logvinov up next for the Hoppers. Two 2-1 pitch. That one inside for a strike. And the perfect spot there. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 13-4 the score. And the throw, breaking ball, is low and outside, so a full count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. No runners on the base. The throw here will be low and outside, so Perkins will walk. And Artie Logvinov will come to the plate. Logvinov 0 for 3. Last at bat, he struck out. Artie looking to keep things going here after 2 runs have been scored in this inning so far, with 2 outs, a runner at first. First throw, breaking ball. That one will hit the plate, but does not get far from the catcher. So now 1 ball and no strikes. That throw is outside. So now 2 balls and no strikes. Best of the West 7-on-7 football competition will be happening this Friday at this Stadium of Champions. Competition will start at 3. Is that's a ball called, or started at 9 a.m. and it'll be going on Saturday as well. A lot of teams competing in that. Of course, in Hopkinsville, Christian County and Hoptown will be playing, and a lot of Clarksville schools as well. A couple of those as Logvinov will keep the bat on the shoulders there, and a pitch there is called strike. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. The throw. And that's another strike looking. So now full count here with 2 outs. The full count. That ball fouled as that one goes behind the bleachers near first base. Perkins was ready to go there. He'll have to come back to first. Hoppers getting closer as well as far as the hit situation. We mentioned them getting more hits. 11-8 now. Whirlybirds lead as far as hits. That pitch is going to be fouled once again as well. That one goes towards the batting facility for the Hoppers. So now full count it remains. Again, 2 outs. Perkins has been running every time, as he does again, and that is outside. So Logvanov walks. He reaches base for the first time in this game. Now Luis Vergara, he's coming off of back-to-back doubles. How big would a double be here? Possibly bringing in 2 runs. And shrinking this lead for the Whirlybirds even more. Again, 13-4. Clarksville leads Hoptown. Breaking ball there is low and outside for a ball, so 1-0 the count. And a pitch there called strike. Looks like it was low and just a bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. And runners at first and second for the Hoppers. 1-1. That ball is going to be fouled, as that one will go behind the dugout near first base. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Vergara 2 for 3 on the evening. The 1-2 throw. That ball is a low. Nice eye from Vergara there, facing the 2 strikes. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking ball, that one is grounded to the shortstop. Carter will field it, he'll make the throw, and that is in time. A nice throw there from Merrick Carter, and the Hoppers will be retired, as there was 2 hits. There were no errors. There were 2 left on base, and 2 runs scored. As we look over at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, it's a 13-4 ball game, as we'll have 7th inning action coming up here. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
It's a 13-4 lead for the Whirlybirds here in the top of the 7th. Clarksville batting. And a new hitter for the Whirlybirds, as that's a strike called there. So now 0-2 is the count. It's Trace Horn for the Whirlybirds. Horn comes from Georgia Highlands College, and that ball will be a strike. They'll make the throw over to first, and it will be an out there. And a strikeout there to Trace Horn. Now Carson Hepworth will come to the plate. He is a 1-for-1 of the day. He's seen the plate 4 times, but he was walked 3 out of the 4 times. As he will get that one towards center field. Oliverio tracks that down, and he makes the grab in mid-center. And back-to-back outs against the Whirlybirds here. Blaze Bell comes to the plate, known to be one of the top hitters for the Whirlybirds. Has not had his best night here, as he is 0 for 2. Has been walked twice, but as a pitch there is called ball. Had a line drive to Artie Logvanov. That was a bit of a robbery there. He made a really nice play, did Artie. And then he struck out looking in his last at bat. As he'll make a chopper. That one is fouled near third. So now 1 ball and 1 strike. So again, here in the top of the 7th inning, the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers 13-4. Blaze Bell is currently at the plate with 2 outs, and he's facing a 1-1 count. Jackson McTire is pitching for the Hoppers as the ball is tipped into the glove there of Keebler. So now 1 ball and 2 strikes. The throw, breaking ball, check swing, and it's a strikeout there. As 3 up and 3 down. As there for the Whirlybirds in the top of the 7th, there was no hits, no errors, and none left on base. As looking at the manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, 13-4 is the score, as Whirlybirds currently on top. And it's time for our 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Visit them today on Fort Campbell Boulevard and download the Chick-fil-A app for online ordering. Again, 13-4. We'll be back for the bottom of the 7th, where the Hoppers will send their 4, 5, 6 batters. It's Dom Oliverio, Tate Van Hooser, and Carter Hood. This is Hoptown Hoppers Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
This is News Radio WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville. News Radio WHOP.
A new pitcher for the Clarksville Whirlybirds, as it's going to be Peyton Sanders for the Whirlybirds. Peyton Sanders comes from the University of South Alabama and is originally from Cunningham, Tennessee. Peyton Sanders. He'll face Dom Oliverio for the Hoppers. It's a 13-4 score here, as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers in the bottom of the 7th. A strike called there, and it looks like we got a side armor here. And Peyton Sanders, right-handed pitcher. Oliverio, a right-handed batter. A throw there is a strike as well. So now no balls and 2 strikes quickly.
Yeah, this is a totally different look. These pitches are way off what these guys are used to seeing. So wouldn't be surprised if this bottom of the 7th goes a little bit faster, just because it's a totally new look.
As an inside pitch there to Oliverio, not to be graphic, but probably just saw one of the slowest spits from Peyton Sanders on the mound. when you're doing it, you got to be fast with it. And in that case, it's just nasty, if you're asking me. But 1 ball and 2 strikes here. 13-4. And swing and a miss there as Oliverio will strike out. And now Tate Van Hooser will come to the plate. Van Hooser is 0 for 3. He had a pop fly. It went foul out towards right field. First pitch is high and outside for a ball. Van Hooser, one of the newer additions in this Hopper team.
Yeah, and he's been very good in his time. Struggling a little bit tonight, but dangerous every time he steps in the box.
1-0 there, low and outside for the second ball in the count, making 2 balls, no strikes. And inside throw. That'll make it 3 balls and no strikes. Three the count to Van Hooser. We'll see if he swings here. He does not, and a strike is called there, just a bit inside. The Henderson Flash are currently leading the Muhlenberg County Stallions 14-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning, as that pitch is called strike as well. Now, Ethan, I know we had talked about it before the game. Do you know if it is confirmed that the Hoppers will be playing the Stallions tomorrow?
Yeah, the game that was canceled on Sunday for rain will be moved to tomorrow in Muhlenberg at 6:30. So, well, hopefully it won't rain again.
As that's a swing and a miss as Van Hooser strikes out. I know I got some tennis plans tomorrow evening, so I'm hoping it doesn't rain either. And for the Hoppers' sake, of course, trying to get some more wins, they would like to play that game as well. Now Carter Hood comes to the plate, a new pitcher, and he has fared well so far. The first 2 batters he's seen have been struck out. Now it's Hood's the chance to change that, as he had a base hit in his last at bat. First pitch, that ball is going to be chopped and fouled near the dugout by third base. So now no balls and 1 strike is the count. Second throw, it drops inside, but that's a ball called. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Strike called there. We'll make it a 1-2 count now. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. 13-4 the score. Carter Hood is at the plate. Previous 2 batters have been struck out. And the throw here, that ball will hit Carter Hood. And so he will advance to first. And make it 11 times now. I'll have to check the standings where Hood ranks as far as being hit by a pitch. As I mentioned, he was towards the top. As the first pitch is called strike to Stephen Bell. The 0-1, that ball is called strike as well. Just a bit high there, but called strike regardless. And unless Lee from Henderson Flash has been hit tonight, the Hoppers, Carter Hood now leads the OVL in being struck by a pitch, as loose pitch there will advance Carter Hood to a second. So now a runner at second and a 1-2 count for Stephen Bell. Runner at second, the throw. That ball is fouled, which will keep the count the same at 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. A runner at second. And Stephen Bell at the plate. And a strike call there, looking, as Bell will be retired for the 3rd out, and all Hoppers players that were out came via a strikeout, as there were no hits, there were no errors, there was 1 left on base, and there were no runs scored as we head to the top of the 8th inning. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers 13-4. That's the manpower of Hopkinsville's scoreboard. And we head to the, once again, top of the 8th inning. This is Hoptown Hopper Baseball, presented to you by Chick-fil-A.
WHOP.
(13-4) is the scores. The Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. Andrew Jordan, he had a double in his 1 and only at bat so far in this game. He was a pinch hitter. Originally was a pinch runner. As that's an inside pitch there, a pretty looking pitch there from McTire. So now no balls and 1 strike. Second throw is going to be fouled, as that one, I believe, hits the roof of the Chick-fil-A broadcast booth. So now no balls and 2 strikes. (0-2) is swung on. Ball does hit the ground. They'll make the throw to first, and that will be an out. So a strikeout there to Andrew Jordan. And so now 1 out. And Merrick Carter, a left-handed batter, will come to the plate. Merrick Carter from Columbia State Community College and is from Rockville, Tennessee. Listed as a utility player, as that ball is fouled. Utility player, and you can add first base coaching experience to the list as well, as we saw him do that earlier.
I think that falls into the category of utility, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess he'd say so. That is now 0-1 the count, as Carter will take time and step back to the plate. Umpire says play, so McTire gathers his pitch. The throw, breaking ball outside for a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Carter. Game has reached about 2 hours and 30 minutes now. Swing and a miss there. So we are here in the top of the 8th inning. One ball, 2 strikes. That shot is towards right center field. Oliverio's trying to track it down, and he does make the grab. Nice hustle there from Dom, as that was a moon shot there. Ended up falling in the outfield.
Yeah, the height was there. Didn't go deep enough, but sounded really good. It was a scary one coming off the bat.
So now 2 outs. First 2 batters have been retired. Now Heath Owen will come to the plate. He is 1 for 4 on the day, and his first attempt was a hit, so he has been outed in 3 straight appearances. Breaking ball there inside. It looked good, but it doesn't sound good from the umpires. He calls ball there. 1-0 the count with 2 outs. The throw there is low for another ball. So 2-0 is the count. Again, 13-4 the score, as the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. In the top of the 8th, the Whirlybirds currently at bat. Strike called there, just a bit outside fastball. Makes it a 2-1 count. Heath Owen from Belmont University, as strike is called there. Swing and a miss, should I say. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes. As the Hoppers trying to go 3 up, 3 down here. The throw, that ball is low and inside, so a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. McTire will pick up the bag and throw it down. Full count. That ball is going to be hit towards right field. It does land fair, and that one will go towards the bullpen. So trying to go for 2 is Owen. The throw is made, and he will beat it, as the cutoff man is there to get that one. So another double here for the Whirlybirds. And hit number 12 for Clarksville. Now Garrett Taylor is at the plate. Taylor is a pitch is thrown there. 1-0 the count. He is 2 for 3. That's a low pitch. So 2-0 the count. In his last at bat, he had a base hit. And another low one there. So 3 balls and no strikes. A runner at second for the Whirlybirds with 2 outs. 13-4 score. The throw, that one is a strike in the middle, just a bit outside. So 3 balls and 1 strike now. And it's Garrett Taylor for the Whirlybirds currently batting. Throw there, another strike there, just slightly outside. So a full count. And that ball is in the dirt. So Taylor will walk for the second time in this game. Now Cade Hitson will come to the plate. Hitson came in for Charlie Compton earlier this evening. And Hitson was walked in his one and only at bat, as that ball will be fouled behind home plate, actually going behind the Chick-fil-A broadcast booth. So that makes the count no balls and 1 strikes. 1 strike as runners at first and second with 2 outs. The throw here is inside. Bat left the shoulder of Hitson, but a ball was called. He did not make the swing rotation. So now 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs here. Throw there is too low, making it 2 balls and 1 strike. Throw is swung on. It tipped the ball, but it landed in the glove of Keebler. So now 2s across the board. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 runners on base. That's at first and second. McTire gathering himself, looking over at second. He'll make the throw, and that is a strikeout looking there. As an outside throw there for strike 3 will retire Hitson and the Whirlybirds, as there was 1 hit. There was no errors. There was 1 left on base. No, excuse me, 2 left on base. And no runs scored as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Checking the Manpower Hopkinsville scoreboard, 13-4. And it will be the 8-9-1 batters. It's Cummings, Keebler, and Perkins for the Hoppers. 13-4 the score. We'll be back with more 8th inning action brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
This is News Radio WHOP AM Hopkinsville and WHOP HD3 Hopkinsville. News Radio WHOP.
It's a new pitcher for the Whirlybirds, as Keegan Evick will be throwing for the Whirlybirds. Evick is from Volunteer State, or Vol State, the school, and he's from Clarksville, Tennessee. So a local pitching for his OVL team. Many of the Clarksville natives on their team. Make it easy when you talk about host families.
Yeah, it's true.
You don't need as many when you got all these Clarksville kids at their hometown. So 13-4 the score. First pitch is thrown to Chase Cummings, and that's a ball. So 1-0 the count. Second throw is hit towards center field, and it will be grabbed by Merwin towards left center.
I'll tell you what, Chase Cummings has had more pop off of his bat tonight than I've seen him have all season. With that big double he had to right field. He had a hit earlier in this game that had a ton of speed on it into the infield. That one, if the center fielder hadn't been sneaking up already, probably would have been down. Good night from him as far as both hits and contact are concerned.
John Keebler now at the plate. Breaking ball, that one drops, but not low enough. So that one's too high for a ball. So 1-0 the count. And the second throw is outside for a ball as well. So 2-0 the count. Strike is called there. Two-one fouled to the screen right in front of the first base bleachers. We'll get it one time, I promise. 2 balls and 2 strikes here. And another foul ball. So the count remains the same. Currently a 2-2 game in the All-Star game. In the top of the 7th. And an attendance of 220 tonight here at Colonel Field. The Hoppers taking on the Whirlybirds. 2-2, as that'll be a grounder towards the second baseman. It's fielded, the throw is made, and that is an out. There for the second out. Horn there with the play. Now Sam Perkins is at the plate. First throw is a strike there. It's a bit high. As we disconnected for a moment there, apologize for those listening via radio. 1 ball, 1 strike here. It's a 13-4 score and a 1-1 count, as that'll be grounded towards the third baseman. He'll go for it, make the play, throw, and that's an out. As it'll be 3 up, 3 down for the Hoppers here in the 8th inning, as there were no hits, no errors, none left on base, and no runs scored. As we head over and look at the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard, looking for a job, visit Manpower on Fort Campbell Boulevard in Hopkinsville today. Let them connect you with a great position where you can start tomorrow. The score 13-4. As the Whirlybirds lead the Hoppers. We'll be back for the top of the 9th here, as this action is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Trent Youngberg is now on the mound for the Hoptown Hoppers. He replaces Jackson McTire. As starting things off will be Blake Merwin for the Whirlybirds. And 13-4 the score. as Youngberg throws his last warm-up pitch. And now Merwin will step to the plate. He is 2 for 4 on the day. And Merwin, his 2 hits were his first 2 at-bats, as he's gone 0 for 2 since then. He was walked in the 5th inning. First throw is high for a ball. So 1-0 the count. Second throw high as well and inside, so now 2 balls and no strikes. And strike called there. Another high one, but it was just low enough to get that strike zone. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss there. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch gets past Youngberg there as that one goes way over the head of Keebler. That makes it a full count. I failed to mention today the game day sponsor is Happy Turd Plumbing. And the umpires, the plate umpire is Darren Clark. Base umpire, first base umpire is Rick Erickson. And the third base umpire is Daniel Rios. That'll be a grounder up the line, and it'll get past the shortstop Logbanov going towards center field. And that's a base hit there for Merwin. So make him 3 for 5 on the day. Now Trace Horn will get some time at the plate, a right-handed batter. Horn struck out in his last at-bat. His one and only at-bat, as that is foul behind home plate. So no balls, 1 strike. Throw there is too high, so 1 ball and 1 strike. And a runner at first for the Whirlybirds as they lead 13-4. Youngberg pitching, as that'll be a grounder. And the throw is made to second, the throw is made to first. That ball is too high, and that ball goes near the dugout. I believe that was Brady Ginnivan there, had to move out of the way for that one. Might have actually been Cody Jones, now that I think about it. But
and you will immediately see that runner get advanced to second after the ball goes out of play anyway. So a runner ends up on second base anyways after that. I guess the 3rd time's not the charm. The Hoppers have already rolled up 2 double plays today before that. That one, the 3rd one, was not meant to be.
so Hepworth is now at the plate. Throw there for a ball. So 1-0 the count with the runner at second. As that ball will be grounded and fouled down the third base line, making it 1 ball and 1 strike. A pitch there is too low for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. An outside throw there for a ball. 3 balls, 1 strike. And a runner at second with a 1 out and a 13-4 ball game here. As that ball will be hit towards center field. Oliverio tracking that one down, and he makes the grab. And staying at second will be Horn. So now 2 outs, and Blaze Bell comes to the plate. Bell is 0 for 3 on the night. He struck out in his last 2 at-bats, first looking, then swinging. Throw there is low and inside for a ball, so 1-0 the count. Bell known to be one of the best, if not the best hitter in this Whirlybirds lineup. 0 for 3 tonight, not having his usual success against the Hoppers. As the ball is fouled there, and I believe it hits Keebler. As he kind of takes some time to grimace. And I believe that is the 3rd time he's had some kind of pain behind home plate tonight.
Yeah, he's had a rough night. I mean, a rough night as far as getting hit goes. He's actually been really good behind the plate. But
oh, yeah.
A rough night as far as, you know, we normally don't even see someone get hit once like that in a game. That's his 3rd time having to get down on all fours and kind of take a breath.
And I'm not exactly sure where he was hit. I'm hoping it's not where I think in some of these at-bats. But 1 ball and 1 strike. Keebler is all right, so he'll stay behind the plate. Throw there is low and outside for a ball. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 outs with the runner at second. Here in the top of the 9th. The 2-1. That ball also low and outside, just barely. So now 3 balls and 1 strike. The throw is going to be low and inside. So walking is Blaze Bell. And now Andrew Jordan will come back to the plate. Jordan was here just in the last inning as he struck out. He did have a double earlier though, so 1 for 2 on the day is Andrew Jordan. First throw was fouled behind home plate. As that makes it an 0-1 count. So no balls, 1 strike. Throw there, swung on and missed. So 0-2 now the count. 2 outs. Hoppers just need the 1 out here with runners at first and second. The throw, that ball is outside, and what a job there from Keebler as that ball bounces and he stands up to get that one. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Throw there is another ball, so now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Trent Youngberg pitching for the Hoppers. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. The throw, that ball is going to be fouled behind our broadcast booth here, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The throw, that one is too high. So now a full count with runners at first and second. And again, a 13-4 lead for Clarksville against Hoptown. The throw is swung on and missed. And Andrew Jordan will strike out for back-to-back times. As in that inning, there was one hit. There was one error. There was 2 left on base and no runs scored. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning where the Hoppers will need to score at least 9 runs to stay alive. It's a long shot, but it is not impossible. As the Manpower of Hopkinsville scoreboard reads 13-4. Whirlybirds over the Hoppers. And starting things off will be Logvinov, Vergara, and Oliverio for the Hoppers. We'll take a quick timeout, have more baseball coming up here, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
News Radio WHOP.
Artie Logvinov will get things going here. It'll be Logvinov, Vergara, and Oliverio getting things going here in the bottom of the 9th. As that'll be a grounder towards the shortstop. It'll be fielded by Carter. The throw is in time. Foot was on the bag, and that is an out on the first pitch swing there. So 1 out, and now Vergara will come to the plate. Vergara had back-to-back doubles in his last at bat. He grounded out to the shortstop. As he is 2 for 4 on the evening. Breaking ball there, drops, but not low enough for the strike. So 1 ball, no strikes here. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Hoppers have 2 left. That's a strike there. So 1-1 the count. Keegan Evick is the pitcher coming out of Vol State. And from Clarksville, Tennessee, that'll be a hard grounder to Merrick Carter. Carter fields it. He'll make the throw from shortstop once again, and that's another out there. So Vergara is out on back-to-back times, grounding out to the shortstop, Merrick Carter. And now 2 outs, all down to 1 man here, Dom Oliverio. As Hoppers are trying to keep something going here. As fans are starting to dismiss themselves here. With just 1 out left for the Hoppers. Down 13-4 in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch there is high there. So 1 ball and no strikes. Inside throw there makes it 2-0. So now 2 balls and no strikes. That throw is also going to be high. That one outside. So now 3 balls and no strikes. On deck is Tate Van Hooser. If Dom Oliverio can manage to reach base, the 3-0 throw. That one is going to be down the middle for a strike. So 3-1 now the count. The 3-1 throw, that ball is fouled behind home plate. So now a full count. As I mentioned, an out here would end the game. Dom Oliverio trying to extend things for the Hoppers. As it's a full count here, 2 outs and a 13-4 lead for the Whirlybirds. The throw, breaking ball, that one is fouled as that one goes near the fence by the third base dugout. Oliverio stays in the count. The full count pitch once again. That ball is in the dirt, so Oliverio will walk. as he will continue on the day 1 for 3. Now Tate Van Hooser is at the plate. Van Hooser trying to end out on a good note here, if this will be his last at bat, as he is 0 for 4 on the evening. So now runner at first. First pitch there is too low for a ball. So now 1-0 the count. Breaking ball there does hit the strike zone, so 1-1 the count. If Van Hooser can manage to reach base, it'll be Carter Hood next up for the Hoppers. The 1-1 pitch, that one is low and inside. So now 2 balls and 1 strike. Swing and a miss there. And so now 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a runner at first for the Hoppers. Van Hooser trying to stay alive here for his Hoppers team. The 2-2 throw, that is a swing and a miss, and that will end things here. As in the bottom of the 9th, there were no hits, there were no errors, there was 1 left on base, and no runs did score, so that makes it a final score of 13-4 as the Hoppers take down the Clarksville Whirlybirds. And a good showing here for the Whirlybirds. Hoppers, not their night tonight, as we will take a timeout and we'll wrap things up and have our post-game coverage here after this timeout. Again, 13-4. The Whirlybirds defeat the Hoptown Hoppers. We'll be back for our post-game show coming up in about just 1 minute. This is Hoptown Hoppers Baseball, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
On air and online, this is Hoptown's News Radio 99.3 and WHOPAM.com.
We mentioned before the game started that this was a big game for the Hoppers and that a win would tie the Hoppers and the Whirlybirds for that 4th and final playoff spot, but a loss would make them now 2 games behind the Whirlybirds for 4th place, and that's exactly what happened. The Hoppers do fall to the Whirlybirds 13-4 as Clarksville takes down Hoptown in this home matchup for the Hoppers. And our game summary is brought to you by North Trust Insurance, serving Medicare customers with prescription drug plans, Medicare supplement plans, and Medicare Advantage. Visit them today at 305 North Drive or call 270-885-0811. And Ethan, talk to me as far as your thoughts in this game. Obviously not the outcome that any Hoppers fan wanted or any of the Hoppers wanted, and especially you talk about playing Clarksville now for the 4th time this season and losing for the 4th time against Clarksville. What are your thoughts after this matchup?
Yeah, I mean, this team just looked all out of sorts from the very beginning. You know, the pitching all night struggled up until McTire, you know, seeing those first 5 pitchers, or first 4 pitchers, just came and went pretty quick. And And that was really all it took. The Hoppers were able to blank the Whirlybirds for the last 4 innings, but those first 5 were pretty detrimental. And they scored all 13 of their runs in those first 5. Hoppers got a little bit going there in the middle of the game, but it just wasn't enough to really even make a dent. And, you know, at the end of the day, you got to be good all the way around to win baseball games. And tonight they didn't have the pitching, and for most of the game didn't have the hitting. So it was kind of in the books that they weren't going to win this one.
And a thing to kind of see, too, the Whirlybirds, we mentioned it throughout the broadcast. Whirlybirds have been proven to be a good hitting team. They, when you talk about extra base hits, they lead, or total bases taken, they lead in the league. And you talk about hits in general, they're second. Doubles, they're first in the league. Triples, they're fourth. They're first in RBIs. I mean, they know how to score and how to put runners on base, and that's something they've been good at all year. So seeing that they score 13 runs is not surprising. It's the fact that Hoptown Hoppers were only able to really get the 4. That's where if you're going to beat the Whirlybirds, it almost seems like you're going to have some high-scoring numbers, which the Hoppers will be back in action against the Whirlybirds next Tuesday. That also, depending on what happens throughout this week, could still be an important game, and could still be they could still be playing for something next Tuesday. But the Hoppers will definitely need to play some great baseball throughout the remainder of their season. As we do want to go ahead and mention our player of the game, which is brought to you by Skyline Animal Clinic and Oak Grove Animal Hospital, who supports all the area schools, athletes, and students. Skyline Animal Clinic has been your source of veterinary care for small animals since 1956. Call them today for all your pets' veterinary needs. Our player of the game, I'll let you take it away, Ethan.
Yeah, I want to give 2 quick honorable mentions to Luis Vergara, who had 2 big doubles, and then Sam Perkins, who had a hit and then walked twice and scored himself. But tonight I wanted to give it to more of a defensive player, and that's John Keebler, behind home plate, 2nd game in a row of him winning the player of the game for the Hoptown Hoppers. Tonight he was excellent behind the plate, not only throwing out multiple runners on attempts to steal bases, but also stopping a lot of pitches that would have gone wild otherwise. And he also took quite a beating back there, getting hit several times. So to persevere and play as well as he did, he also had an RBI on the hitting side. So just an overall good game from him. And the last 2 games on defense from him have been pretty spectacular.
And another honorable mention, too, I did want to throw out, Chase Cummings. He did end up having he went 2 for 4, and he had a double in this game as well. So he was a kind of a player that we saw offensively. You kind of mentioned it during the broadcast too. Even some of his outs seem like the best piece of hitting that he's done all year. So again, congrats to John Keebler for winning the player of the game. Went 0 for 4 at the plate. Like we mentioned, it wasn't that offense that kind of made you and I kind of make that decision. It was that terrific defense that he's shown at another position now. Tonight it was shortstop last night, like you mentioned. But the Hoppers, like I mentioned, do fall 13-4 against the Whirlybirds. And an update as well, the Hoppers will be in action tomorrow. It was listed as an off day, but it has been announced that the Hoppers will take on the Muhlenberg County Stallions tomorrow at Muhlenberg, and that'll be a 6:30 start time there. So the Hoppers will play the Stallions, which is a good thing for the Hoppers when you talk about them trying to get more wins on the season and make a stride for the playoffs. That is exactly, you know, what the doctor ordered, is another game for them to get an opportunity to do that and add a win to their column. But 13-4 is the final score as the Whirlybirds take down the Hoppers. And as always, I want to thank all those who helped in the broadcast, with Bruce Smiley, Jeff Siss, all the work that they put in behind the scenes. And I want to thank you, Ethan Alexander, for joining me as always at these Hopper home games. And that's going to do it for Ethan Alexander, Jeff Siss, Bruce Smiley, Jamar Perkins saying so long. And before I go, I did want to note too, I did say that there's going to be an away game. As I kind of paused myself here, I do want to note the next time you'll hear a broadcast will be Friday, as the Hoppers will play the Bowling Green Pistons at 6:30 with the pregame show at 6:15 on News Radio 99.3 FM, 12:30 AM WHOP, and on Hoptown Hoppers TV on their YouTube channel. So Friday is the next time you'll hear a broadcast on WHOP. And that's going to do it. I want to remind everyone listening, as always, to call your loved ones. And while you're at it, tell them go Hoppers.